Hello and welcome back to the Becoming Relentless podcast. I am your host, Eleanor McCabe, and I'm joined by the lovely
Cecily Wesh.
And Danielle Kissenberger.
Woo!
Today, we're talking about red flags with everything. But first, we're going to talk about coaching.
Yes.
Coaching red flags.
Red flag.
What to look for and walk away. Actually, run away. Sprint as fast and as far as you can.
Far away.
Save yourself.
Before the refs
Yeah.
have to call you out.
Flag.
So what I was going to share is there was in high school, they would do like flag football. And they would do, the football guys would be the cheerleaders and the girls would be the football players.
Oh my God.
And I did that one year. It was fun.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
It was flag football, so there was no tackling, huh?
Unfortunately,
It would be so much more fun. You just got
especially if you have an enemy.
I
You just
know.
ran
Yeah,
her.
like, I don't
Oh
like
that'd be brutal.
Okay, low key though, soccer. Like,
Oh yeah,
have you seen
those
how-
girls are.
Yeah.
Those
they
are
can get
tackles.
wild.
Yeah, I'm like they're
Jeez,
tackling each
yeah.
other. You just don't see
You
it.
just got to be strong.
Yeah.
You get so strong from that. You
Mhm.
Mhm.
don't. Oh yeah, that's awesome. All right, red flags
Red flags of coaching.
with coaching. Do y'all have any from your past experience? Not like ones that you've actually dealt with that you're like, this is not it. Now that you're here.
No, I've only had one coach.
Yeah.
So
So let's like not
Call him out.
turning-
No, just kidding. What are his red flags?
Oh my gosh, trash it. He would be so. Just kidding.
None.
It's a great coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say so. I only had two coaches. That's in bodybuilding and fitness. Before that, I mean, obviously, I had. Actually, I take it back.
I didn't think about like sports coaches.
Yeah, but it's like you don't really get to choose your sports coach. The coach chooses you.
Yeah.
So what are my red flags as an athlete? I'm just kidding. But I did so when I had my eating disorder, and then I had a trainer. I think trainers and coaches are different. Like a trainer
I
at
agree.
Lifetime is not a coach.
Yep.
The red flags were things that she was taught what to do and what to give, you know? So it was just like the nutritional advice was not it. No, now that I know what I know. So, but with coaches, like I said, I only had two coaches. My last coach was a great coach. She just wasn't as,
Educated.
yes, and in depth. I wouldn't say she was a cookie cutter coach at all, but I would say that there are many cookie cutter coaches
Yeah,
out there.
that's one that I wanted to touch
Yeah.
on. Because I've been getting quite a few athletes recently. Like these two girls came over from another team in Washington, and they literally, one was a bikini girl, one's a wellness girl, and they both had the exact same meal plan
No way.
and the exact same training program
Wait, from the same coach?
from the same coach.
That's just
The exact same.
And completely different physiques. Well, the meal plan is one, like that shit, like, what?
Yeah.
Not okay. Not okay. Well, and they're also like one girl, I think she was only like 5 feet tall, like, you know, and the other girl's like 5'8" and like much more dense because she's like wellness
What was what was the shorty?
bikini.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Yeah. So completely different. So like the fact that their nutrition was
Yeah.
exactly, and the fact that this person was prescribing
Yeah.
one of them like in like performance enhancing drugs, like anabolic steroids, blew my mind because
Did you know this coach?
I don't know them. No, I know their name. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it on here, but
Yeah.
like when I saw that, I was just blown away that someone that gives that type of plan also takes people's health like that in that way. And
Yeah.
it's just the drug protocol was also extremely just not good.
Mm-hmm.
And just it was all very, very, very bad. The fact that they had the same meal plan really just
It's,
irked me
yeah.
because they were also in two completely different phases of their journey.
Oh no.
I mean, they both were like in a cutting phase, but like in different phases of the cutting
like
phase.
one of them maybe is more advanced
Yeah.
or has
Mhm.
done it before. Yeah. Training years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Ugh, that makes me cringe.
Yeah. very just not good.
SMH.
Yeah.
Shaking my head.
It's it's one thing for a training plan. Like if
Mhm.
you're a beginner and you
Yeah.
you need to put size on, like
Yep.
yeah, you're gonna get a training plan that's the same
Like
as
a basic push pull
Mhm.
legs split.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where
Has
a lot
all
of
the
us started.
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think a training program being the same is that
Yeah.
crazy, especially
Yeah.
for like lifestyle athletes, or if you're also one bikini athlete versus another,
Mhm.
based on like how advanced and what your physique needs. I
Mhm.
don't think it's that crazy to see the same program
Yeah.
as another bikini athlete.
That's what I was
If
gonna
it works,
say.
it
like,
works.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, it depends on like the individuals too,
Yeah.
because like I think we were on the same split for
Yeah.
training
Yes.
program for a while, even though you're wellness, I'm bikini.
Yeah.
But it's like my feedback time and time again was grow my lower body
Yeah.
and leave my upper body alone. So
Yeah.
that fits
makes sense.
because that's like your goal as
Yeah.
wellness. So there's like exceptions, and I
Mhm.
feel like training it's one thing, but like
Mhm.
the meals
Yeah.
and they're like height difference, different categories.
Yes.
That is just wild.
Yep.
That is a huge
It
red flag.
blew my mind.
Did they know? Like
And they
were
knew.
They
They
knew.
knew. They
and
knew.
they were paying for it.
Yeah.
Like okay.
But that's where the athletes are uneducated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will help.
I can't believe like what you're
Yeah.
gonna pay for that.
I know. They literally sent me screenshots of the exact same thing when they were doing their consultation calls, and I was like,
You're like, wait a sec, this looks really
I was
familiar.
like, this is, and she was like, yeah, she has the same exact one. I was like, honey,
Huh.
we need to get you out.
yeah.
Yeah,
We need to get you
not-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's bad.
very bad.
Like I said, don't walk, run.
Yes.
That's, yeah, man, that's horrible. Cookie cutter coaches, but there's so many out there.
Yeah.
There's like I feel like at least 50% of coaches are cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Probably more, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, I feel like it's down to the local level or like regional level. So certain states, like certain pockets, there will be these coaches that are like so cookie cutter and they get away with it because they're like a little bit smaller. They're on the local
Mhm.
level.
I
Their
agree.
athletes like don't really see what else is out there
Mhm.
until
Mhm.
they like step out to another team maybe, or they come talk to
Yeah.
us and it's like, hey, that's not right.
So I just have a question. Like none of us can answer it.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all can. If you're an athlete who chooses a local coach who doesn't have much experience, and you know of like us or
Yeah.
Justin or someone who has way more experience, way more success in like education, yet you still choose the local coach.
So I think a big reason why people choose those local
Mhm.
coaches is because they know someone that used them. I
Mhm.
think that the way that local coaches are successful is through referrals, especially because it's like, I'm here locally, so like we can like train together, and like it's a big team that all trains together. Like, because I feel like a bunch of local teams that I know of, they have like big group training sessions where like
Mhm.
the coach walks them through and just puts them through a training program all together. The coach doesn't train with them, but it's more so like it's there.
a group training.
It's very,
Yeah.
It's group training.
yes.
That's actually how I got my first coach.
Mhm.
I was in college and someone recommended me to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like word of mouth. And like I was uneducated. I didn't know. And it's not that he was bad, but it was cookie cutter. And it
Mhm.
was like he was local. He could train with me. He could
Yeah.
see me in person.
Yep.
And so I was just like, yeah, okay. And I
Mhm.
didn't realize. But now that I know what I know, like you guys are saying, looking back,
Mm-hmm.
some of his protocols were definitely questionable for like a first time
Yeah.
bikini competitor. Like we didn't spend any time growing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't spend any time like refining my training. He was just like, oh, you want to do a show? Okay. It's June. There's one in November.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like it was just
Yeah.
immediate. I just dropped right
Yeah.
into a prep.
Yeah.
And so,
But that's when they just want people on stage.
yeah.
And another thing that's unfortunate with like the cookie cutter coaches, I feel like people don't realize they have a cookie cutter coach.
Yeah.
And it does beg the question, like, how do you know if you have a cookie cutter coach?
Having the same meal plan,
'Cause-
first of all.
But
Mhm.
some people don't share their protocols
Yeah.
with other people. Like some people keep their protocols very tight knit. They don't talk to other people on the team. So like, I don't even know the answer to my own question, but like, what are some signs that people can look for?
I think if you feel like it's not individualized to you, because I had a girl who came over to me and the first inkling that she had that it was cookie cutter was because she's aiming for wellness, but she was hitting push, pull, and then leg days like once a week.
Oh,
And then like delts and arms. Like her split wasn't
she was
what
hitting
she
legs
thought.
once a week.
Yeah, as like a wellness
competitor.
competitor. Like that is her goal.
Yeah.
And she had told her coach that was her goal. And he's like, okay, let's grow. But then he wasn't providing the tools. And so that was her first thought of like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And then when she reached out to me and we were speaking, I was like, I don't want to overstep any bounds here, but if you are a wellness like competitor, that's your goal, you should be hitting legs at least twice a week, if not 3 times.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So your training should match the goal. And I think she kind of thought it over and then she came and joined me, which I was like super thankful
like,
for. I was like, yay. But it's hard because you might not know. You might not talk to your teammates and realize.
Yeah. I think also just like asking them questions. Like, can they answer your questions?
Yep.
And like, don't be scared to ask them a lot too. If they get mad at you or like don't answer your questions directly or just anything like that, like I do feel like could be a sign.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Flag on play.
Yeah. We need little flags.
I know.
I'm calling a red flag.
That'd be so much fun.
Dude,
We should have little red flags for this one.
just send your
I'll just go like this.
Yeah.
send your cookie cutter coach a red flag and bounce.
That's the sign. Bye.
And then when you apply with us, just do like a green check mark and let know why.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a
That's what
lot.
everyone-
That is that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the cookie cutter is obviously the biggest one. I would say another big one personally is jumping your coach like to your coach allows you to pick a show without them even like caring or like having any input. Like they can allow you to pick the show if they agree that you could be successful at it. Or number 2, if they just jump into a prep with you.
Yeah.
If you're like,
If you don't look like you're ready for it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've gotten a lot of inquiries lately of girls who have shows that they want to do in their like they're like, oh, I want to do this show in 20 weeks. And so my first thought is like, send me your physique pictures and like give me some history and I like get information. And if they haven't been training for at least 2 years, if they haven't been dieting at all for the past like 6 months, before they even send me the physique pics, I'm just honest with them. I'm like, listen, we're probably gonna need to grow or recomp or health for like at least 6 months. So the show that you're aiming to do,
But it
probably not going to make it. Yeah,
like
I'm like, it's going to be a 2024 thing.
Yeah.
And most of them has responded like really well to that because they're like, okay, she's being honest. But I have had a couple where they're like, well, this is the only one in my area and I really want to do it. And I'm like,
Good luck with that
I'm not
third
going to
call out.
Yeah, like I was like, I really prefer prepping people to win.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you're competitive enough.
Yeah.
And like, I hate saying that,
It's
but at the same
true.
time, it's like,
Dude,
You're doing
no,
them a favor and a service.
but it's also the fact like, dude, if you can't like commit to this goal, then you're not prepping to win. Like it's a reality check.
well, and I think some people want to do it as like a bucket list or they don't realize prep has too many, it's like risk reward. To me, there's too many consequences of a prep that's not well executed to be worth just like stepping on stage for experience. Like,
Yeah. Well, if you, no offense, you step on stage for an experience, you're not going to bring the best package. No. You're not, because you're not training to the level that people who really want to win.
yeah.
And like executing, you're probably like hitting protocols 90%, 95%, but you're leaving at least some room some days to mess up.
Yeah. Red flags.
We love
Yeah. What others for coaching?
For
Before we dive into
coaches.
anything else. People, I got one. If they take way too long to respond to your messages, like way too long,
Yeah.
like a day later without communicating to you, 2 days later, you will a whole weekend without like answering or like, especially for check-ins, like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
For check-ins, 100%.
Yeah. Like it's one thing if you check in and you don't send pictures and they want you to like wait until you send the whole form, because I have been there.
I have definitely been there. I open it and I'm like, oh, pictures aren't yet. And normally like if I open something and I'm going to reply to it, I unread it. But like if pictures are going to be coming in, then I don't unread it. And so then it just gets lost in the sauce.
You have to like send the whole form. It's the check-in needs to be fulfilled in all areas in order to have actual biofeedback to improve and to assess you for like that's respecting your coach as well, but also you invest in your goal. You're paying money for this. So like do the smallest thing, which send your check-in.
Literally it takes, whenever I have issues with people with like checking in, I'm like, it takes 5 minutes tops to check in and to fill out the check-in box.
And it's also, you don't have to have the best lighting. You also, if you cannot, check-ins on Friday. If you can't do it Friday, okay, Saturday. Can't do it Saturday, okay, Thursday or Sunday. Communicate it. Just get it done in the week.
Yeah. I feel like communication's huge. And that's the biggest thing is like, if we know we have an event coming up or if they know they have an event coming up, just communicating that. Because I'm more than happy to move their check-ins. Like I have Army, what is it? Army Reserve, Army Guard, Guard members. And they'll have drill weekends. And I have like several of them. So like they'll tell me, hey, I have drill this weekend. I can't check in on Friday. I'm like, okay, send it Thursday morning. If that's too much for you, like Monday, as soon as you get back, just send it over. And majority of them are like, yep, I can do Thursday. Like, that's great. But it's like the communication thing. So if you're sending like your full check-in and you don't hear back from your coach, honestly, I get back to check-ins like within a couple hours, but I feel like some coaches have like 24-hour periods. It kind of depends on the coach and the team and whatever else. But like if you're sending out a full check-in and everything's completed and you don't hear back from your coach for days, like that's a red flag.
They don't care. If they cared, it would be responded to. That's just like reality of it. I'd also say super, super low diets, like low cal, like low, like high
really
cardio.
High cardio.
Like
from the get-go. Like if that's your plan especially if that's your plan from like day one.
That's what I mean. If that's what you receive is like cardio and no food. Like that's no. And
I just got one of those.
Well, it's so common. It's literally every person. And if every person, like most people, and if it's not a coach prescribing that, it's themselves prescribing that to themselves. Because, and it's not that they necessarily are scared to eat, it's that they don't know what to do. So they choose what they know will give them fast results because what else would they do? Except get educated by us.
Yes.
But
I think those are really good for coaches, like coaching red flags. And we kind of touched on athlete red flags too, like a little bit.
Like missing check-ins.
Missing check-ins. That's a red flag.
I rather someone, no, I don't. Missing check-ins to me is like the top of like, come on, like we can do better. But what's also at the top is not sending training videos. I almost rather have your training videos sent throughout the week. Like I'd rather
That's what I was going to say.
So many training videos than one check-in.
Well, you can tell if their check-in is going to be good if you're getting training videos. Because if you can see them improving in the gym and in their lifts and their form, then you're like, okay, this week's check-in is going to be good because I can see you putting in the effort through training.
You don't see, well, you can't. I tell you that. You can see effort through a check-in picture, but you just see it more in a training set. Especially, it also send the end of your set through the video.
You can't assess someone's check-in either, like fully, if you haven't seen their training for the week. That, like in my opinion, like if you haven't seen the work that they've been doing throughout the week, you can't fully assess the check-in.
And one of my biggest pet peeves is if someone, no matter who, on my roster in a DM, they say like, I don't see progress being made. It's because you're not training hard enough. If you train hard enough, no matter what your protocols are, you are going to see progress. Like you will feel it, you will see it, your muscles going to shape. Like just literally train so hard. It's like the key to success.
It is.
In a mental, a physical, in any way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like I've tapped in, like even the past few weeks that I was like, oh, I'm training hard, but then there have been sessions where I'm like, oh shit, like that was actually training hard. And so every time you kind of unlock a new level, you get to practice. It's a practice.
But I will say like one way, like people, I don't want people to use that as an excuse too, because like The lowest level I think to training hard is if you cannot perform another rep.
Mm.
That will be different for every person. But every person has that low level of like training of like, I can't do another rep. Well, like that's I think the first level.
Was
of,
it
like,
mental or was it like physical?
Physical.
I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing.
I do agree, but for some, I rather someone, no matter if it's mental or physical, like I rather someone fail in that way than not fail and just say I got 12 reps when you can do like 20 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when you can tell that they're faking the fail.
They do a face and they look around and they
Yeah.
get back to their face
Yeah.
of like hurting.
Yeah.
If you can look around during your training, you're not training hard.
No.
No, that's my full belief.
Yeah. I agree with that. I definitely called out a few athletes on that recently where I'm like, I see your eyes, like you literally like followed someone with your like head as you were doing your like extensions.
You got
If-
so distracted.
Yes.
That
your
you were-
mind, yeah, that you allowed yourself to think about that person. You tracked them with your eyes. You were not focused on what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get distracted by things like that, the simplest
Yeah.
thing of looking over your shoulder,
Yeah.
the weight wasn't heavy enough.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, learning to train hard is a skill that takes time to
Mhm.
acquire and work on. So, like, you just have to be cognizant of it
Mhm.
and just really like brace yourself and mentally prime yourself before every single session, because you just have to like
But-
know that what.
Oh, no, I agree. I was gonna say, look at it as something fun. Like
Mhm.
it can be. When you're new, it's intimidating. Make it fun.
Yeah.
You're supposed. Everything that's hard to me right now, I think is really fun
Mm-hmm.
because like, especially today, I was doing my incline press and I couldn't feel my shoulders. I thought that was so cool, and like I was failing. Like, I just think look at it as something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Make it nasty.
Make it nasty.
Yeah.
Get that nasty pump, girl.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's all I have on training red flags with coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to teach a lot of my roster right now how to actually train hard. And it's easy to like lead from the front. So I'll send them my training videos.
Mhm.
I'm like, my face is red. It's ugly. This like nothing here is pretty. Everything's shaking. Like y'all finish your set and like smile at the camera. Mm-mm.
Or look
Do
around.
it again.
Or
Yeah,
you
like
get,
I'm
you
like
get
that
up
was-
out of the leg press
Yeah.
like you didn't even press anything.
Anything.
And that's the thing is like you said, it does take time, but I'm like, okay, like a lot of y'all are sending me videos every week and I'm seeing the same things. Like
Mhm.
we need to lock it in. You need
Yeah.
like stop looking around,
Mm-hmm.
stop like toe tapping and distracting yourself from the pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get into the pain, like
Yeah.
lean into it
Yeah.
and trust yourself
Mm-hmm.
because the reality is you're not going to hurt yourself like with the weight that you're using.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are fine. And most of them have spotters too, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm like, utilize your spotter, like make
Mhm.
them do something for you.
Yeah.
And I will say if someone's new to training, it can be like I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. If there was an athlete who is used to training in a comfortable place of like not taking things till failure, they just like, that's where they find their comfort. They know they need to level things up, but they don't want to be uncomfortable. Do it once a week. One session, just teach yourself how to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like eventually you're going to get used to it and like that will build upon to like 2 sessions a week. Like just figuring out how to feel uncomfortable and thrive in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you guys can, like, come train with us.
Just be in the same gym too.
Yeah. Come to factory,
Yeah.
be around us. Like, if you're in the area, if you're one of our clients and like you feel like you could be more intense, you probably can. And you probably just need to be around it. So I'm down. Like,
Same.
You always
Hit me in the DMs, baby.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do something fun. Let's do like red flags with men. Yeah, let's
Well, what
do
else
it.
would be? What were you thinking?
I don't know.
I thought
I was
you were
gonna-
gonna say that
Or like, yeah.
dating red flags. I feel
Yeah.
like all of it.
What if we did like relationship red flags? So it
Okay.
could be
Mhm.
men, it could be friendships, it could be like your relationship with your mom. Like it could be super general.
Wow, this is gonna get really touchy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's like with your mom,
Red flag.
therapist session. Just kidding. Yes. I think I'm gonna start with the dating though.
Yeah. Go for it.
Well, shoot, I'm gonna have to think about it. Okay, I would say the biggest. Well, I've been out of the dating scene for a very long time, so I'm like trying to go. Well, I haven't ever been in the dating scene actually.
How about just men in general? That will make it easier for you.
Oh, I got one.
Okay. there
One
we
that
go.
puts you down. Do not talk down to anyone. Like
Yes.
especially if like a girl, like you're that you're interested in, like talking down to
Mhm.
them.
Like being condescending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
Ick.
Yeah.
That is a ick.
And a red flag.
And it's a
Yeah.
big red flag. Yeah.
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 Negativity to me is it depends the way it's coming across. If a person you know is like saying negative things and they're a great person, just not in the best headspace, like
Mhm.
that, it's just like help them. But if someone's like rude and negative and mean,
Like just constant negativity. Like
Yeah.
just negative energy.
yeah, like that's a red flag to me. Like, how are they supposed to uplift you if they can't uplift themselves or literally anything or anyone around them?
Yeah. Victim mindset.
Yeah.
That
And I kind
Oh.
of want to actually touch back on like the condescending and the talking down to you. That just shows that they don't respect you
Yeah.
if they're doing that. Lack of respect. And there has to be respect in relationships.
that's a huge like red flag.
Yeah. That I mean, that's
Like-
not even just men. That's just people
In
in general.
general. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And that also ties into what you were saying with the energy. Like
Mhm.
if you leave a situation and you feel like your energy has been like brought down or drained,
Mhm.
that's a red flag.
Yes.
And it might be situational, like there might be some context there, but like if it keeps happening, like that you're talking to a certain person or you're talking to a certain group of friends and you
Mhm.
leave and you're like, oh, I feel down.
hmm
That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
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 Watch for the patterns. Yeah, I like that.
The patterns. I've seen that on like IG posts where they're
Yeah.
talking about like relationship posts and there's like the red flag pages
Yeah.
that pop up on your like discovery or what is it called?
The explore page.
Yeah. That's freaking funny.
I think my Instagram knows I'm single.
I
as hell
haven't
and
seen
not
them in a
even, like,
very long time.
They don't-
It's not even like in the realm of my brain, so I don't even see any relationship stuff.
I feel like I get like one or two like text things,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
it.
I have a lot more positive. There was
Yeah.
a while there there was like,
Quite a few negative things.
yeah, but I don't really know why.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Instagram red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The algorithm.
Yeah.
The algorithm's trying to spread negativity.
Yeah.
Rude. Don't do that to me. Oh, I think if they blow off like your wants and needs and your interests or we got a big one. They don't respect your answers to things or your time or your space or
Mhm.
the way that you can communicate about things, or like you get in a small argument and they don't respect the things that you say.
Mhm.
They don't have to understand.
Mhm.
They can disagree, but they don't allow you to have your own opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big red
Mhm.
flag.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm having a hard time thinking of red flags, even though there's probably a ton.
There are, yeah. But I think it's because, I think we've all been out of like the dating scene
Yeah.
with like someone new for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I had red flags, but like upon closer inspection, it was like me.
I was.
Do you know what I? Yeah, like I'm like it went both ways.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, these are all red flags, and I like tried to blame it on him, and then like once I got perspective and like zoomed out, I was like, okay, I'm also like throwing some
Yeah.
red flags here and there that needed to be addressed. So I'm like, I feel like lack of communication, that's like a red
Mhm.
flag.
Lack of taking ownership when they are incorrect or wrong or did something. That's a big one.
Yeah, like they never want to take the blame and
Yeah.
they always try to push
on
it on you. Yeah. Flip it on you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Little spinsters.
Yeah. Like a Uno reverse card.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Put a stop. Put the
It's like
stop
you
card on
bring
it?
up an issue and all of a sudden it's like back on you. It's
Yeah.
like your fault for feeling that way. You're
Yeah.
like, wait.
You're like, wait, what?
Wait, is it?
Yeah. Is it me? Are you gaslighting me? I'm confused. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those are. I feel like there's like the surface level ones are very surface level. I also feel like everyone's. I don't have a lot because of I feel like everyone's interests are so different. But I do think through communication, like a red flag to me could be not a red flag to someone else through different communication styles.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Because like the way I communicate with Jay obviously is our communication works.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people who would communicate with Jay and it would just not work. And they would be a red flag to each other because they're just vastly different communication styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. I like.
There is like a right and wrong towards things.
Yeah.
But there is like a way of like just understanding the other person.
Mm-hmm. Like when it comes down to communication, you can, like for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I can think that I'm being a really good communicator,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not. So it kind of takes a degree of self-awareness because I'll be like, oh, I'm communicating. But like to your point, my style of communication to somebody might not hit. Like it might not resonate with them. And so they're not understanding. And then the way they communicate back with me, it doesn't resonate with me either.
Yeah.
So then we're just like on different pages.
Exactly.
Even though we think like, oh, we're communicating well, this is good. It's like, no. We're on.
Yeah, I agree. And like to explain a little deeper is like someone could communicate with someone else and feel shut down just because of the way that person reacts to certain things, while someone can communicate with the same person and the same topic and feel not shut down and feel still open to communicate their side. So I think like it's just it's also like the growth within the person, where they're at and how they need to be communicated to and with.
Yeah. I was going to say something like about growth and like people demonstrating that growth versus people who like refuse and how that's kind of a red flag. Like if you're constantly trying and they're just not willing to like meet you at that level, that's a red flag.
Yeah. But it and it's good to know like red flags can sometimes be not that the other person's wrong, they're just not your person. And not there for your time in that y'all's time in life. It's different phases.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah.
We went to get rid of them to work your way around.
I mean, like, I think there's certain red flags where it's like, okay, like, but it's more so like based on how you feel about the situation. Like there's obviously through communication, anything can be worked on and worked through to an extent. There's some things where it's like, well, if he hit you, you should probably leave. That's not really something
that's
we can
abuse.
communicate around. Actual abuse. That's not. Yeah, I'm gonna call that out and be like, no. But like in other scenarios, like people communicate. Some people are for you, some people aren't in different aspects of your life. And it's just knowing that and being cognizant of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. I love it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm just like trying to think about more flags about different things. I
Different
feel like my
things.
brain is a little slow today.
That's okay. I
We
see
got
it
into the
working up there.
relationships and everyone was like, oh man, this one's hitting too hard. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go home.
Yeah. I feel like all of a sudden, like, prep brain was just like, okay.
Zip.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cut. That's
Just
funny.
like,
That is really funny. No. It's all good.
Yeah.
Prep brain's hitting. But we did, I liked all of our points,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
and especially the communication one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just being self-aware with red flags.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I want to take things like and get personal, but I also don't. So I'm like kind of hesitant.
Oh, let's get
You know what I mean?
personal. Seth is like, no. I'm like, yes.
Okay. What do you mean by get personal?
Like, I feel I speak best when I am just being like genuine about like
Yeah.
my experiences, but
Mhm.
I feel a little like I'm
don't know if
like
it's too much.
uncomfortable like getting into like my personal anecdotes and stuff. But I feel like that's how I best explain
Yeah.
things. So I'm having a hard time like switching my brain to be like, no, let's be general and like
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
You don't gotta be lighthearted if you don't want to be lighthearted.
that's
If
true.
you do want to share, like you can,
Yeah.
but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then
I
No.
will share back though. But no pressure. I feel like that was so much. Red flag. When your friend pressures you.
no,
Shoot.
no. I think so there was recently like events that y'all know, but the podcast doesn't know. I've
Yeah.
been going through some like personal things
Mhm.
and a lot of red flags like popped up for me in that regard, like just being at a different place in life.
Mhm.
And me being who I was, like I was just like I'm seeing all these red flags in my partner,
Mhm.
but I'm not seeing any in me. And that was a point of like self-awareness and growth that I needed to kind of switch my attention to.
Mhm.
So like my personal red flags are like when I bury myself into like what's right in front of me. So
Mhm.
prep or work, getting athletes, like onboarding new clients. Like I will do that instead of communicate with my partner.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, well, I'm busy, I'm working. And I
Mhm.
use it as like an excuse. So that was like a red flag for me, was not being fully present, not being like actually communicative.
Mhm.
And I'm like, we're in a much better place because I've decided to be like very radically and brutally honest. And that is something that took a lot, but like I thought that he was going to see that as I thought that he was going to take that as a flag of like me being mean
Mhm.
because I'm being honest.
Mhm.
But instead, he was just like, no, I appreciate that. And like, I'm going to work on it and grow. And so some of the things that I had deemed as like red flags for him, like flip flopped. And now I'm like, oh. So I feel like people can grow and change. Like you might see some red flags, but like you can make those change
Mhm.
unless it's abuse or like something
Yeah.
that should not be stood through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we can get so focused on like, oh, well, I really don't like
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z about this person. Those
Yeah.
are red flags to me. And so I'm done.
Mhm.
But on the other side of that, it's like there's also opportunity for growth.
Mhm.
And so I'm kind of going through that right now.
Yeah. I think that kind of almost making it so that when you are assessing like the red flags, I guess, like don't just assess the other person, assess yourself, but also assess the situation. Because I think there can be red flags within a situation, and it might not be one person, like the only one person to blame, but more so like how the two people are working in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Like
think of
in
the
the
word.
environment
In
or
the
like
environment
the
that
context.
that they're that they're in.
Yeah.
I think that it can play both, like all the different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was huge. Like just
Mhm.
realizing like instead of micro focusing, just
Yeah.
zooming out and being able to look at things, which is why I was so happy I like got distance and I like went and I am not using emotion. I'm using like logical reasoning.
Yeah.
And I'm examining these flags.
Yes.
Trying to see them for what they like really are. Like in myself
I think
too.
it's really oh man, I'm gonna use the word fun and exciting again, even though it's like when you first notice them, it's not fun. It's like, wow, like kind of disappointing in yourself. Like you almost like hurt by yourself. But after you feel the hurt and you're aware, it's fun to like recognize when they come up and how you're gonna like go about working with them and changing them and evolving. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Like finding how you can grow from like the flaws that you've discovered.
And like, yeah. And a lot of it's like almost red flags towards yourself. Yeah.
And on that same page, like not being too critical of yourself because like we're all human. We all have our traits or we all have our areas of improvement and growth. So it's like,
take them, assess them, and do something about it, but don't dwell on it.
Yes.
That's kind of like always
I
the way
need
it
that
works.
like written out on like a banner and then like hung up in my house. Like, so
Remember.
so I could just see that every day.
Yeah.
Like don't dwell. It's like, okay, you've identified, now like move forward. And like you said, I do think that it's kind of exciting. Like
I think it is.
It's fun
It's
to work
fun.
through that.
So right now I have one that I'm working on, and I think it's really I don't like, so I say I need to do things a lot. I need to work, I need to do this, I need to be here. But none of it's a need. Like I want to do it. And another thing with the needs, like I always say I need or I should. Like when I do something and I leave, I should have done that. No, like you chose to do this because you wanted to do this. So I'm switching my mindset towards the needs and wants to like, I want to do this.
I like that.
Yeah. So every time I catch myself, which dude, I wish I could count how many times I say I need or I should. I do it so often throughout the day, but it's like when I catch myself, it's like exciting because now, like it's a smallest thing, but you grew in that moment. Yeah.
I really like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. I always love just simple ways to like reframe things within your mind. I think that's so cool. I actually was talking to an athlete this morning like about like mindset framing.
Yeah.
And because like in her check-in, because she's in prep right now, it was like, I have a thing that says like, what's your goal like for like the next couple of months? And hers said, compete in August of 2023. And I was reading that, I was like, that's not the mindset we need. And the mindset we need is to win a show in August of 2023. And we had this long conversation about like reframing it. And it's just funny how like those simple, just the different verbiage that you use towards yourself and your goals and what you want, it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah.
I'm glad that you like call that out and work on it with your athletes because I do the same thing and it pays off
Really
in really big ways. Like, and I feel like sometimes they don't even realize it. But every time I see it in a check-in, I'll call it out because I've had the same thing where I'm just like, hey, your wording in your check-in, it's giving off a certain energy and we need to change that. Like we need to flip the mindset here.
Yeah.
We need to do some mindset work and like we'll delve deeper into it. But then the following check-ins, like you can just feel
like the radiating
difference. Yeah.
positive energy of like, I fucking got this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is. Sometimes it's just like wording, like it's just reframing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we went off on a tangent.
Yeah, but
It
there's our growth.
yeah.
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 But, oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I know. It's that time.
Yeah.
We're excited to have y'all here every time
Yes,
when y'all
we are.
listen. And we're excited for you to keep listening. And
Yeah.
anything you want to listen to or like have us talk about, literally anything, please let us know.
We're going to have more guests on, I think.
Yeah.
Like pretty soon,
Yeah.
like this month. So,
Get ready, because I know we had some really good ones this past
Yeah.
month. I really loved all of the pods from
Yeah.
this past month.
yeah.
They were
it's been
fun
good.
and they're only gonna get better.
Only
Ah.
up.
Yes.
Only up.
So, if y'all want anything further from us, DM, comment, share, spread
Do your
all the
thing.
good vibes. Do your
Do your
thing,
thing, 21. Do your thing.
Yes. And we will catch you on the next podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye.
I hope y'all really enjoyed the podcast today, leaving it feeling more relentless than ever. But we have a few things that we would love to ask of you, so I'm going to give this over to Noah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could, I know that this is your new favorite podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave any comments and questions below. And make sure that you're sharing across social media so that all of your friends get to listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
And if you have any questions about any topics that we talk about or anything at all, fitness, competing related, anything, we'll hit you back up, Instagram or in the podcast under, if the comment box is there, then we will definitely answer your questions and help you out as best as we can.
Absolutely. So leave those 5-star reviews. Let us know, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Have a relentless day.
Bye.